All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, Jack Brooks, Mike Carlin, Nikki Earnshaw, and we're doing the Beach Patrol Report brought to you by McCann Realtors of Seattle City and the Ocean City Lifeguard Alumni Association. Jack Brooks in with us. And Jack, Ventnor Beach Patrol, proud Beach Patrol. But one thing I always stands out in my mind, they have the galley races every year.
They do.
I actually love it, but I hate the galley races. You know why I hate the galley races? It means it's the end of the summer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm interviewing guys in the dark because the sunsets are, the sun goes down earlier.
The shadows get long,
right?
And the cool wind blows. You start to feel some wind out of the north, and summer is coming to an end.
Summer's coming to an end.
But now, if you go outside, you get a feeling summer's beginning.
Right.
We got a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful day on the beach too.
All right,
other than a few flies.
And I've got a beautiful guest. We were talking about the GOAT of racing in lifeguard racing, and how about the family Funk, Dennis Funk, the father.
That's right.
David, Andrew,
lifeguard legacy,
Ashton. The Funks. All right, let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome in to the locker room the captain of the Ventnor City Beach Patrol, David Funk. Good morning, David. David there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. David Funk. Good to hear from you, brother.
Morning. Hey, how you guys doing?
All right. Now, I know, David, the Ventnor City Beach Patrol is having their tests tomorrow. How are things down at Ventnor today?
It's a beautiful morning, just coming off high tide. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend, and beaches are filling up. We've got lifeguards on duty, which is a great thing. And, we're having our test tomorrow.
Now, how many people on the patrol do you have? How big is the Ventnor City Beach Patrol?
We hover between 73 and 83 employees.
And, you guys are right in the middle between Margate and Atlantic City, and you have the boardwalk there, and, of course, we were talking about the galley races. Like I love the galley races. Everybody remembers getting their mug, their galley race mug. But I got to tell you, Andrew, when we get to the galleys, man, the summer's over. I'm like upset. I mean, David.
Yeah. The galley rescue races sort of culminate at the end of the summer, and it's a great. If you've never experienced it as a spectator, it's a great event to come down and watch, and you see basically what lifeguards do day in and day out, simulated rescues, but they do it in a race format. And it's a true testament to the skill, strength, speed, and focus that it takes to be a beach lifeguard.
David, it's Jack Brooks, former lieutenant at Ocean City and a competitor.
Hey,
and a competitor in there.
You tried to beat David Funk. You couldn't.
Oh, well, And unfortunately, as I grew older, when I look down the line and see these guys competing, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll pull in a solid fourth. But a lot of respect for you guys. And I do, what I like about that race for anybody that's on the beaches, you're absolutely right. It shows what lifeguarding is all about. We love racing. But every day, it's about getting people safe in the water, out of the water, and home to their dinner, including the guards. How are you training these people now? Because the lifeguarding's changed since you were 14 into lifeguard. A lot of technology, a lot of different things are coming into play now, right?
Yeah, so like you said, when I got hired in the early 1990s, I was 14.
Wow.
Now to be a lifeguard, a beach lifeguard, you have to be 16 years old. So it's good and bad. Those 2 years, 14 to 16, are such big developmental and learning years. But now when you're 16, the guards train day in and day out in the skills required to perform those duties. Whether it's surf dash, can runs with making rescues, paddle boards, swimming, and yes, using and getting in that lifeguard boat. That lifeguard boat learning that boat. It's a skill. It's a learned skill. You don't just, know how to do it. You have to learn and be proficient. You have to train. And the more you get in that boat, the longer you get in that boat, the more experience you get in it. You get comfortable. It's a great tool that's used. It's been used on the beaches of South Jersey for so long. and I hope it continues because it's a great tool to have.
David, it's Michael. I want to give you a little compliment here. So I'm still learning at best I can every week about these lifeguard races. And when I asked Billy before the show started, I said, "Who's our guest today?" And he goes, David. I was right away. I said, "Oh, he's the rower." I knew that in the back of my mind. Here's my question: when you get to the point where someone like me knows your name, you've been doing it year after year after year. In the media, our question to athletes like you, it doesn't matter what the sport is. When will you know when the end's coming? Like, do you go into every season, every race thinking this could be my last, or are you already projecting for next year or the following year?
So it's a great question. I'm 46 now. I still love to compete. I love to train. But the one thing as you get older and you get further along in your life and your career is time. And that's the biggest common denominator is how much time you have to commit to your craft. For me personally, I still enjoy competing and training, but I have a family, and my family takes precedence. My kids' activities, sports, they all take your time. And when you're in your 20s, late teens in your 20s, late 20s, before you get into that life event of changing, getting married and getting kids, you have all the time in the world. So for those athletes who are in that window of opportunity, that time, I would say capitalize. You can't just show up to the beach and row in the morning for an hour and think you're going to go out there and do well. To have longevity in the sport, you've got to train, you've got to put the time in, be willing to work and train when other people aren't. And that just doesn't mean when it's nice out. I've put a lot of time, a lot of hours in the boat over the years, and it's been a lot of fun, and it still continues to be a lot of fun.
We're talking with the captain of the Ventnor City Beach Patrol, David Funk. Dave, how much time would you spend in? I mean, to be in tip-top shape, how much time would you spend in a boat?
If you're serious about competing at the highest level, week in and week out for those 7 or 8 weeks in the summer, you have to start in the off season. You got to start in the off season with your focus on your strength, your training, and working through that. And then as the summer and spring approach, making transition to putting time in the boat. We call it logging miles. The more miles you log, the more experiences you get, the more different conditions you get placed in. So on race day, whether it's a 10-mile-an-hour offshore wind and it's like a lake, or it's a 15 to 20-mile-an-hour onshore wind and there's 4 or 5 foot seas, you're ready for it. You're anticipating it and you're prepared for it.
David, I think a lot of other beach patrols probably shouldn't hear that because I think it's always been your competitive advantage. But the guys that love to row on those beautiful flat wind mornings and they're out there and they're rowing and before work, but that's not the competition. The competition is going to happen.
Well, Mother Nature, you got to deal with Mother Nature.
6:30 at night, and you are in a different condition in those beautiful morning rows, and that's what I respect. You can't replicate the fact that a lot of you guys are breaking ice in the winter to go rowing in boats. I mean, come on, that's some dedication.
Yeah, it's just putting time in. I was very fortunate growing up. I had great partners, my brothers, my cousins, and some really good athletes, and we were all committed. And that's what we grew up on the beach doing, and it's awesome. A lot of people say when people find success and win, they say they're lucky. Luck is the intersection of opportunity and preparation.
Rolly Massimino said, "The harder you work, the luckier you get."
Yeah, right.
That stuck with me for a long time.
You got to be prepared so when opportunity strikes, the preparation has been there and you can handle it. And yes, you need a little bit of skill, a little bit of things to go your way, like anything. But when you have those two things going for you, your chances are really good.
Captain Dave, let's get back to the seriousness about the actual, protecting the bathing public. What do the lifeguards got to go through, like recessive ante? Like, what do they do for their like CPR training? How much time do they put in for that?
Yeah, so recertification. So every lifeguard on the beach, the state puts in different requirements for first aid and stuff like that. right now, currently, all of our lifeguards are being trained at a higher level of first aid. So they're getting a higher level of training, which requires a little bit more time. And rest assured that every lifeguard on the beach is highly skilled and trained, and we work very well, almost like paramilitary. We work very well as in a teamwork environment. You know, it's not just one person; it's a group collectively working together to make that rescue or to treat that patient. And all the lifeguards up and down the beach have that same requirement.
I wrote an article. It's Jack Brooks again. I wrote an article one time about that because I think learning how to do that at a formative age carries you. I don't care what your career is beyond that. You know, it's not it's the team. It's people you have to depend on. And on the beach and on those rescues, today we have crazy beach emergencies. It's not only the water. I control what's happening in front of the stand, but there's other stuff that comes out of left field on the beaches today.
Yeah, I mean, primarily you think an ocean lifeguard's primary focus is the ocean, the beachfront. But a lot of our emergencies carry over, like here in Ventnor, onto the beach, onto the boardwalk. So we're a unique patrol. We learn to adapt. But the main focus though is the bathing public. You know, we make sure that the people who are in the water are being watched, protected, and guided to have a safe experience on the beach.
Now, let me ask you about that new lifeguard headquarters, right? You got a beautiful new headquarters, am I
Yes,
right?
we do.
Yeah, yeah. That shows some respect. The city values the beach patrol. They build you a new headquarters. You settling in over there?
Yeah, absolutely. The prior headquarters was built in 1997. I remember clear as day when it was brand new, and when that building was new, that was sort of the pinnacle of headquarters. But over the years, with the exposure to the wind and the storms in the winter, it just got in disrepair and it became unsafe. And we are very fortunate. The city invested time, energy, and money and funds to resurrect the building. And what we have now is a state-of-the-art building that functions very high. We have cameras that can see every inch of the beach in Ventnor.
State of the art.
We have access to multiple cameras and everything else, so it's great. It's a great beacon. It's a great signal for the beach.
I could not end this section, David, without asking you a good racing question. Out of all your races, do you have
that's
one
what
real
I was thinking about
one?
the same thing, Jack.
Well, I know. I think everybody's
Because we're asking him. I mean,
everybody in the
we
studio
stipulated
is
that
nodding.
he is the GOAT.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
Do you have one race that that totally stands out in your many years?
I think there's probably a couple. One I had not won a South Jersey's championship yet. I was rowing, I believe, with my brother at the time, and we had maybe a 20-second lead. And this goes to show you about preparation and opportunity. Coming into the singles flags, I was telling myself, I can't believe I'm going to win my first race, South Jersey's. And a crew about 5 lanes over. This is where preparation opportunity come in. A little swell picked up, and they ended up catching a swell and riding it all the way in. And we ended up getting second that year. Needless to say, it made me even more hungry and more determined. But I would say the next one will be winning my race with my brother, my twin brother, 2003, which is last year on the beach. We won, I think, almost every race that year, and capped it off with that South Jersey's championship. Was awesome. And I think the last one would tell you would be 2022 Goudies. My son was there, my daughter, my wife, and
Yeah, I remember that
it
one.
was a pretty strong ocean. It was a lot of fun. Got out there, came in, and was able to win that race. It was not more for – I didn't really care enough about winning it, but it was just cool to have my kids there. Any races I've had since 2014 where my kids have been there has been awesome.
And I remember being on the beach interviewing you when you had your son in your arms, and that was pretty cool. David, I also, you guys, not just the Funks, but all the beach patrollers give me great access when you guys get out of the water. You're sucking wind. You just spend it all. but you give me some time, and I really appreciate it. And once again, when's your test tomorrow?
Yeah, our test is tomorrow. We have a 9 a.m. report time for any candidates that want to take the test and join a great beach patrol. It's team driven. Takes a lot of hard work and discipline, but we're excited to have the test.
All right, David Funk, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you at the races.
Thanks, guys, for all the time and support you give to all the beach patrols in South Jersey. Thank you.
All right, thank you. There he is, Captain David Funk on the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline. Jack, I mean, these guys do give me great access. I get right to the water's edge. The boats come in. You know how exhausted they are, but yet they still talk to me.
You know, they're professionals in a professional sport that they don't get paid for. You know, but talk about leadership and development. There's an example of it right there. Leading a team, leading other people, lots of good credibility. Great people.
All right.
The Funks.
Thank you, Jack, for the Beach Patrol Report, brought to you by McCann Realtors of Sea Isle City. Knowledge, integrity, dedication, experience. For rental and sales, call 609-263-7422 or go online at McCannRealtors.com, where you can also keep up with all the South Jersey lifeguarding news and racing schedules, and the Ocean City Beach Patrol Lifeguard Alumni Association, celebrating 126 years of protecting beachgoers. For over 83 years, the Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark. With a friendly staff, no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. The Circle Liquor Store is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the Locker Room with Billy Schweim. Throwing a party, preparing for the big game? Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. That's the Circle Liquor Store in Summers Point.
Just about everyone in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia Eagle Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every Monday they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract 200-plus top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or call 856-912-4007. All right, you're listening to Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Nick Earnshaw, and Mike Carlin right here on 97.3 ESPN.